Men of Reddit, what do women do that they think is okay but is actually creepy? Story 1. I dated a girl who was overly sensitive to word choice. Case in point, one Saturday morning I was out running errands. It was a beautiful day and I texted, "It's going to be a great day." She called me crying, because when you say it's going to be a great day, it puts too much pressure on me to have a great day. Now I'm crying. All I could think was, what the? We ended up breaking up because it was a Thursday, which had become our date night, and I was going to go to her place. She started crying and broke up with me because I assumed we were going to see each other that night. Story 2. Those women who will go after everything in a divorce. The ones who try to leave the guy with nothing. This is uncomfortably relatable right now, as my mother pulls this on my dad. I've made it known that I will jump through any hoops I have to in order to legally help my dad save anything and everything she hasn't already ditched, sold off, or destroyed. Story 3. Calling you daddy. Stop it. It's very creepy. Story 4. Acting like a mental illness is a personality trait, such as, "I'm sorry I said all those nasty things earlier, but I'm bipolar so it's okay and I didn't mean it." Edit. I should have been more clear at first. This is supposed to reference those who use their conditions as an excuse to continue saying or doing nasty things, or reference those who pretend to be bipolar just so they can say nasty things and have a net to catch themselves in if they are called out. Story 5. Maintain a relationship with your mom even after the breakup. Story 6. Trying to isolate us from friends, especially other women, and family because they want us to focus on the relationship and prioritizing her emotional needs over everybody else in our lives. It's under the guise of wanting to develop a bond and get to know us better, but if you're paying attention, you can tell what's really going on. Story 7. Failing to realize that sometimes free time needs to be me time and shouldn't automatically be she time. Story 8. Touching me when you're a complete stranger. I'm in really good shape, and the amount of women who would touch my arms, shoulders, and chest when I'm out was too high. Story 9. Setting up traps to test us. Being upset with something we did or said in your dreams. Lying to our faces when we ask direct questions like, "What's wrong? How are you?" etc. Story 10. When she wants to know my Reddit username. Completely unhealthy. Story 11. Perving on men. So many times in the workplace I have heard women say what they would like to do to a certain man. Almost drooling in public. If a man said the same comments, they would be fired. Story 12. How has nobody mentioned this? It's definitely not most women, but it does happen sometimes. They get angry if you're not in the mood. Like, "You're a man. You always want to do it. Do you not like me anymore?" "No, Andrea. I was just not in the mood that day, and yes, I liked you a lot." Story 13. Ex demanded I take down a single picture of a platonic female friend who I have known for over a decade, and who is happily married to a mutual friend of ours. Said picture was part of a cluster of 8 total. The other 7 pictures were just group pictures of said platonic friend and mostly other male friends. Story 14. Making a new social media account after I block you. Story 15. Unwanted physical contact. Was out to dinner with a bunch of friends. Coincidentally, they were all women. And the waitress was hitting on me, which involved obvious compliments, which I don't care about, and putting her hands all over my shoulders and upper chest. We all had a laugh about it after, but I was seriously weirded out by it, and were the genders reversed, I guarantee no one would have been laughing about it. Story 16. When women say things like, "If I were 10 years younger," about underage boys. It's creepy, and if the genders were reversed, you'd call the police. Story 17. Went out with a group of guys last weekend. There was 6 of us, and this random girl started hanging around us like a lost puppy and just wouldn't leave. She was attractive, but so obviously desperate for attention that none of our group of guys really cared to give her any. This girl was just looking at everyone, batting her eyes and trying to hug everyone, but the guys were just pawning her off on each other. Not sure if this is pathetic more than creepy, but if a guy did the same thing, he would be labeled as creepy, so yeah, she was creepy to me. I honestly thought she was an escort or something trying to sell services because of the way she was approaching dudes. It's not normal. Story 18. I've had this happen a few times, but I don't know if it is more common or less common. When I go to a bar for a drink on, say, a Friday night, I usually go with friends. I'll head to the bathroom and sometimes the bar will be crowded, so I'll have to sleep through a group of people. Several times I'll get rubbed or caressed by women, sometimes on the groin, sometimes on the chest or shoulders. It's not wanted, nor am I signaling I want to be touched. Just saying excuse me and going past. It bothers me every time. Story 19. Not creepy, but when a woman sees a dad with his kid and feels it's okay to tell them they're doing great. I get they may feel like they're being supportive or whatever, but the stigma behind guys not knowing how to raise a child is infuriating. I have 50-50 custody of my child, and she is raised brilliantly by both me and her mom. I can guarantee mom never gets random praises just for walking through a shop with our child though. It's not supportive, it's condescending, and please stop. Edit. I've seen a few comments about accepting compliments. My daughter is an absolute delight and always gets genuine compliments from passersby. These I take with pride and a smile. The problem is from the people who approach in shock to see a dad alone with his kid and think he is either babysitting or just lost without a woman to tell him how to raise his kid and needs a patronizing pat on the back. Edit 2. Just to clarify, I always respond with a smile and thank you regardless of the way I'm approached. I'm not raging mad about this. Story 20. The way girls share really personal things about guys in relation to intimacy. Society and the media would have you believe that guys talk about it all the time and just objectify the women that they've slept with. I don't know if maybe I'm just hanging out with the wrong people, but honestly, the most you usually get out of a guy is just that they slept with a girl. But girls tend to like immediately reporting things to their friends and sharing details that honestly could be embarrassing or uncomfortable for the guy. It makes me really uncomfortable and creeped out to think that if I slept with a girl, I have to just accept that all of our friends are going to know every detail about the experience. Size, performance, how long it lasted, how I look. It just feels like a huge breach of privacy. Story 21. Honestly, hands down, women who exploit the emotions of men. We may not all cry in the movie theater, but we are not incapable of experiencing deep, painful emotional wounds. In general, it seems to be more acceptable for women to rag on guys for their image, like our height, weight, or income, while the flip side being that men cannot criticize women without being a pig. So yeah, women who nitpick guys for superficial reasons are creepy, arrogant, and covered with more red flags than a game of Minesweeper. Story 22. Late to the party, but I haven't seen this mentioned yet. Distributing intimate pictures they get from guys to their friends without permission. I've caught several women doing it and they will argue about it if asked to stop. Yet another example of it only being an issue if the genders are reversed. Story 23. I have a friend that whenever she starts dating a guy, just lists me off things about the dude like she's listing a resume. Never anything about the personality or sense of humor or what characteristics about them she enjoys. It's always job, career, college, earnings, and house. I had to tell her it was getting creepy because it just sounds like she was getting a checklist to impress people, not to find a good person for her. Story 24. Not exclusively a woman thing, but my ex would screenshot our text conversations and send them to her family and friends for reaction. Like mundane conversations, not even anything interesting. It felt like a very creepy violation of my privacy. Also, she was a Hope you see this, Laura. Story 25. You know the things you don't like men doing? You don't get to do that either. Story 26. I don't know if it's just me, but the baby's voice plus behavior really puts me off. Story 27. Tickling and getting angry when I don't like it. Girl, I don't like getting tickled. I really hate it. I don't care if it's some way to show affection. I don't want it. And it's not my problem and I don't have to man up and take it. And by the way, no means no. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell button to receive notifications to my latest videos.